What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. And I have some breaking news report. According to TMZ and other multiple credible news sources, prosecutors are dropping attempted kidnapping, arson, and some of the SA trafficking charges. In a stunning move, the day before closing arguments in Diddy's federal criminal trial in New York City, prosecutors have pulled back on some key testimony during the trial, specifically attempted kidnapping, attempted arson, and aiding and abetting trafficking. Prosecutors said in a letter to Judge Aaron Subramanian, whoever his name is, Judge Aaron Subramanian, there you go. The government is following His Honor's instructions to streamline the jury instructions. The reality, prosecutors seem to feel they've fallen flat on proving Diddy allegedly kidnapped former employee, Capricorn Clark, who was taken to a building and given a lie detector test to determine if she stole Diddy's jewelry, and Cassie, when she was allegedly held at the London hotel. More surprising, prosecutors are not pursuing the attempted arson claim that Diddy blew up Kid Cudi's car in a jealous fit of rage. During the trial, prosecutors never directly linked Diddy to the fire. Both of these charges related to the racketeering charge Diddy faces. As for the aiding and abetting trafficking charge, prosecutors don't explain what element of trafficking they will 86 from the jury instructions. Prosecutors are not dropping the various trafficking charges, only elements of them, and specifically aiding and abetting. Prosecutors do say in their letter they want an instruction that just because women gave prior consent to acts, it does not mean that it can never be withdrawn. Sure. Okay. Let's just change the rules of what, okay. We all know no means no, but then yes, sometimes mean no, but you got to play mind games and read people's minds. Yeah. Okay. Prosecutors also say jurors should be told just because a woman received compensation, quote, does not preclude a finding of forced labor, which relates to trafficking. And as for trafficking, prosecutors want jurors to know neither physical restraint of the alleged victims nor commercial acts are required to prove coercion in trafficking. You know, I don't, at this point, man, I think it's safe to say that the prosecution have failed miserably. Okay. Now, Diddy may still spend time behind bars, but at this point, I seriously doubt it's going to be what was the worst case scenario, which could be basically the rest of his life. If I had to take a guess, he could walk, or it could be maybe a situation where he sentenced I'm just putting this out there now. I don't know. I'm not a legal expert. I'm not. I'm just going off of like past situations like this. I could see 5 to 7 with, 3 to 5 suspended. And I could see him doing 2 to 3 years, and even with that, getting out in 2 years with good behavior. I could see something like that. Worst case scenario at this point. Okay. Which, given what was in front of him from the beginning and the perception that the media put out there, that would be a stunning win. His defense team, despite 98 to 99% of the media being against him, hell, we would do YouTube videos where we were just trying to be fair. I was still criticizing Diddy, but I was trying to be fair and objective. And those videos would not get monetized, or those videos would not be disseminated throughout social media, or throughout YouTube, I should say, like other videos. There are content creators who are getting compensated to crap on Diddy and black entertainers and athletes. And at the end of the day, I'm not saying that Diddy is a good person. I still think he's a scumbag in many ways, and but I've always and always will continue to be a critic of the criminal injustice system, and with very few exceptions, no matter how I personally may feel about a black man, when he's put up there as far as being at the whim of how the wind blows when it comes to Lady Justice in this country, I feel for him. I feel for him because this is the same country that has locked up R. Kelly, and there seems to be those at the very top of the hierarchy of the criminal injustice system, or at least um, those in the local periphery when it deals with R. Kelly, who are trying to off him, right? But yet, a guy like Charlie Sheen, who shot his ex-girlfriend, allegedly did some unthinkable acts to Corey Haim and Corey Feldman, and they went out there and all but told on this man, and people told them to shut the hell up about it. This guy has abused his ex-girlfriends, his ex-wives, threatened to actually unalive his children, was cruel to his ex-girlfriends, and this clown spreaded a disease that he got, right? You know what I'm saying? Purposely to women. Having all types of, I mean, people talking about Diddy. Charlie Sheen was Diddy before Diddy. Charlie Sheen was doing all types of disgusting things. Charlie Sheen is on video. I don't know if it's like for public consumption, but Charlie Sheen is supposedly on video going down on a now deceased Transformer. What are we talking about here? Were we trying to make Diddy the face and stuff? But when Charlie Sheen was doing it, he had tiger blood? The fuck out of here, man. I'm sorry. I just don't feel outraged for Diddy. And at this point, with the way that I've seen so many black people run and jump to conclusions and believe everything that the prosecution was saying about this guy, just because the government tells you, this is the same government that went out their way to put their collective foot on our necks for hundreds of years, or for decades at least, in the modern era, and we supposed to believe everything they say? Come on, man. Only thing that I know about Diddy that I'm convinced of is that A, he's a freak, which is not a crime, and B, he put his hands on that woman, which was wrong. But at the same time, she kept running back to the dude. And when you keep running back to an abuser, I'm sorry, I lose empathy for you. I just do. Because at some point in time, you're a fucking idiot. What I'm not gonna do is put women lower than I do young black men. Like, what I mean by that is, I'm noticing a trend where a young black male, but I know this is mostly in black men, could be 15, 16, 17 years old, right? And if they make mistakes, legal mistakes, right? Somehow they're supposed to have the wisdom of Solomon already at that age. And whatever mistakes they make, society don't give them do-overs. Society don't give them systemic safety nets to patch up the wrong they did. They're judged forever and a day for whatever wrong they committed. You got a young man right now in Texas named Carmelo Anthony, no relation to the basketball player, who has been indicted for murder for apparently trying to defend himself from two bullies. He may, if things go wrong for him, spend decades of his life in prison for doing something that most people would do instinctively. which is defend themselves from someone trying to harm them. But Kyle Rittenhouse is seen as a hero for driving, what was it, 100 miles? Well, I don't think it was that far, but was it 80 miles? I know it was a hell of a distance from where he lived to a protest and unalive protesters protesting in the Black Lives Matter movement. But he's a hero, though. I'm just saying, man. But a grown woman like Cassie, I'm supposed to feel sorry for her because somehow she don't have the mental comprehension to realize that she need to leave this toxic relationship. Nah, not doing, not playing those games. Women can't sit up here and act like, on the one hand, they're equal in every way when it comes to, our society as far as how we are going to be judged as adults. And I agree we should be equal. But on the other hand, you're not going to play this damsel in distress, I was just a poor dumb woman shit. Nope, can't do it. So hopefully this is a victory ultimately for Diddy, because if this had gone down, this would have been really, really bad for us black men. I'm sorry. This would have been really bad. This would have set a terrible precedent for what they could do to us, man. Like, it's already bad. We needed some type of pushback against this shit, man. So that's telling me that the grand jury, like, no matter what tricks they plan as far as getting rid of black jurors, black male jurors, which ain't been reported by the media, even with all of that, that's telling me the prosecution is reading the jury and they can tell that they're not buying this shit, man. So anyway, that's all I got to say about it. Tell me what you guys think.